Well, that's
Okay,
my
I'm
best.
going to call the meeting to order as vice chair, since our chairman is still delayed getting here. And we're going to skip around on our agenda a little bit. First off, there's a welcome and report from the chairman of the board, and he will deliver that once he's here. I am the chair of the Brattleboro Housing Opportunities, Inc., which is a subsidiary of sorts of the Housing Authority. And we are a nonprofit, and we often become involved in projects where money has to be raised outside of directly from the government. And that fed right into the project with Red Clover Commons. We hadn't been meeting for quite a while, so we had to reorganize ourselves. We got a couple of new members. There was a request for application for us to serve as the nonprofit in the Red Clover Commons project. We filled out the application, we sent it in, we got approved, and then for other reasons it was decided that it was more appropriate that a separate body handle that. So we are now organized once more and ready to rip for the next project. We do have a couple of items of business here, including an item for action resolution for the Disaster Recovery Grant Application Authority, and I would ask Chris to guide us through that project.
This is a resolution that we have to fill out to apply for our Disaster Recovery 2 grant that will fund almost $6 million towards the construction and land remediation for Red Clover. So I would ask that you approve it.
So moved.
Is there any discussion? Questions? Pretty straightforward.
If we apply it, we might get some money. If we don't, we won't.
We will get the money. We're written into the grant,
We
so
will.
we need to fill out the application.
We will get the money.
I think it's a good idea that we do it.
Yeah, so I'd like you to do it.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye and raising hand. Those opposed? Carries 3-0.
Great.
Many of you will realize that during the course of the past year, there's been not turmoil, but turnover in the staff here at the Housing Authority. And many of the new staff we've not met, and many of you probably have not met. So if it would be so good as to introduce the new personnel that you're going to be dealing with.
Happy to do so. And I'll just look on the back of the room. A new old person.
You're old.
Chelsea is our new property manager. For Lakewood Heights, More Court, and the N.W. Richards building. Let's see, who else is, and brand new today is Connie Hollis, who is joining us in the accounting department. Welcome. Lorelei, stand up, you're short. Lorelei has joined us as the resident services coordinator. And though she is not that new, is Cindy still here? Cindy, are you here? There you are. Cindy Schmidt started November 6th of last year. So I wanted to recognize her, and also she is responsible for all the food. Not here is a new maintenance person. You folks have probably met him because I think he works here quite a bit, Tom Hutton. Liz Livornia is at the front desk now, 3 days a week. And Andrea, where's David? Jacqueline? Jaquith will be joining us December 1st as our new Family Self-Sufficiency Coordinator. She'll be joining Lucy Tell, and Courtney DeFrino will be starting December 1st as the new property manager, and she will be the property manager here at Hayes Court and at the Samuel Elliott Highrise. So that is, I think I got all the new people. Mary says, yes, I did, so I did. All right. So you will see all these folks by December 1st. We'll have everybody here, and that will be a great relief for some of us that have been doing some of these jobs, some part of these jobs.
And while you're there, would you like to update us on the Red Clover Commons and the future of Melrose Terrace?
Sure. All right. So let me start with Melrose Terrace. As you know, we had almost 100 new ideas or good ideas on what to do with this property when we have all moved out. And we had a great meeting, an all-day meeting with, I would say, the people that really control money and regulations in Vermont, and certainly with HUD. And it was a very productive meeting. I think the action steps that came out of it were that this will be declared a historic property, and we have to do a historic survey, I think that's right, of the property. So we're in the process of preparing the paperwork in order to hire somebody to do that. And we have to do a study of the brook. It's an engineering study that the state wants to see of the brook through here. And so we're getting ready to do that. Once those two pieces are done, then we will have the really essential information that the state people are looking for in terms of deciding how far, what they think we can do here. I think it's, at least my conclusion from that day was that Melrose Terrace really should not be used for residential purposes again. And it would be really detrimental to anybody that was living here if it were used that way. It's just too flood prone. And the best and actually most expensive way to fix the flooding at Melrose is to put in 2 new bridges, and that would cost approximately $3 million. So I don't think anybody's going to come and do that. And I know that town is not interested in doing that either. So that's where we are with the reuse of this property. Red Clover, I have the site plan for the building. It hasn't changed tremendously from the last time you saw it. What has changed is that we've actually cleaned it up in here. We have eliminated steps that were on the property. I think it's much more walkable for you folks and more accessible in that way. So the floor plan of the apartments has not changed. The parking layout has not changed. It's pretty much the same with the site grading as the only area that got changed.
Will that site cover everybody who lives here from
No.
Melrose to go over there?
It will not. No, 55 units in here.
And where are the rest of them?
That is phase 2, which we will be starting, we hope, this coming year. We'll start looking for.
And when will that start getting built?
That's what I was going to say next. The really good news is that we have all our permits and we have all our money. We are waiting on one HUD approval. We hope to close in January and start construction as soon as the thaw is upon us, and then we will be occupying, we project by January of 2016. Here comes Bill.
Hey, Bill.
There he is.
There.
Yay, Bill.
My God, I missed the whole meeting.
No. We saved all the good parts for you.
You got it. Right, exactly.
Oh,
Thank you. I'm
Well,
We were prepared to sit here the whole time. Put the food on.
Yeah.
just started a little recap of the Melrose, of the Red Clover plant. So we have our permits, we have our money, we're waiting for HUD approval. I was told we would have it 2 weeks ago, but that's HUD, so we're still working on it.
Bruce, now you said there's going to be 55 residents occupying that.
Yes,
What did you say about the rest of the residents? Where are they going to go?
the rest of the residents will stay here, and the plan is to move everybody to the safest buildings here. So people that remain may very well have to move, because we are going to try to close up the most flood-prone buildings.
how are you going to choose the 55 people?
On seniority, who's lived here the longest, and especially those that were here for the flood, will definitely be in, I would imagine will be in the group 2.
Do you have handicap apartments over here?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
What if some of those who will be left behind here, can we choose to stay here, or do we have to go there? If we're chosen to go there, would we have to go there, or could we choose to stay here?
You could choose to stay here. My suspicion is, I don't know, but this is going to be a very, very nice new building. The apartments are going to be really nice, and compared to the ones that you have now, they're going to be a real upgrade. So, yes, you can choose to stay here, but I think once people see this building, they're going to like it a lot, is my suspicion.
How big are the apartments that we have here?
About 600 square feet.
600?
Yeah, I think about.
Is that right, Mary? I thought there were like 1,200. So
No, there's 6 at the most.
Okay, so if 55 people go, the apartments are supposed to be a little bigger, is that right? We were told at one time they were going to be a little bit bigger.
These will be bigger.
Those will be bigger?
Yeah.
So on applications that have been filed and requests for release of funds, HUD funds, it says that it's going to be approximately 52,000 square feet. So my question
55,000 square feet.
Okay, it says 50.
Okay.
It's still approximated, right? So my question is, considering the hallways, the elevators, a community room, laundry room,
Yeah.
and a kitchen, how is that going to fit into that roughly 52,000 square
It
feet?
fits, and these are bigger,
Okay.
if that's what you're getting.
Yeah, because
Yes,
when I
these
was
are
reading it
bigger.
in the paper, the
No,
request.
these are bigger,
Mhm.
and they are fully accessible, so that they're all built so that somebody in a wheelchair could maneuver in them. There are going to be 4 that are fully handicap accessible.
Yep.
We just had a meeting the other day, and I asked them to please lower all the upper cabinets.
Really?
So we're watching that one, among other things. Like the laundry rooms, they really got the laundry room. So, yeah, these are going to be bigger than the current apartments, and the layout is really vastly different. They're a really different apartment.
Are they air conditioned?
Pardon?
Are they air conditioned?
Yes, the whole building is air conditioned. And the parking is underneath. There was another question? Yes.
When Heidi was here, she was saying that she was pushing for the toilet seat to be up higher rather than too low, because I had called her because the one I had I personally purchased myself because I needed to have it up higher and what to do with it. And she said that she'd been pushing so that all of them would be a little higher and it wouldn't be as much difficulty as getting off. And
They'll definitely be in the floor handicap
Yeah.
accessible units.
Yeah, and then we were talking the last time we met about a different kind of toilet seat. So whether it's a higher one or not, I don't know, but I know that we were looking at a much more comfortable one.
because it is difficult if you are handicapped in any way
Yes.
to, one hand on the sink, one hand on the corner of the windowsill or whatever.
Well, the other thing is that unlike the apartments here, these apartments will have all the blocking in the walls that's needed to put grab bars in very easily in these units. So we really are building this very specifically for a more elderly population. So there have been a lot of improvements and changes in the designs.
Thank you.
Now, there's 3 floors, right? 3 levels, right?
Yes.
All right, now the ground level, is that going to be for the disabled? For people, for the people that can't?
No, it has elevators. It has 2 elevators.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
I can't hear.
It has 2 elevators and they go to the garage. Yeah.
One will go.
One goes to the garage, one goes to the garage. So there are 2 elevators.
Have we up 3 levels?
Yep,
3 living levels?
3 living levels, yes.
2, 3.
3, and then the third actually goes, the top level comes right to here and stops. And then there's a community building on the third, or a community room on the 3rd floor in this area. And then this is going to be a flat roof, and it will be fitted so that we can put solar panels on it.
Very good.
We did look to see if we could put 80 units on this property, but we felt that it would be just too crowded. So we really were trying to keep a livable scale of the property and the building. Other questions about Red Cloak? Yes.
Are you gonna have cable or satellite?
There'll be cable
Cable?
hookup.
No, you couldn't do a satellite and have everybody that lives there pitch
No.
in? No.
Can't do that.
Difference between Comcast and DirecTV.
Nope. Not getting into the cable business. Best to stay away from it.
That's right. Is there, originally there was going to be a community room on the, the first floor?
There's one on the
It's just
first floor.
So then, are you going to have a lounge on the second?
There's a lounge on every floor, excuse me, Phil. Right in this V, there's a sitting room.
Yeah.
This is the first floor, and there's a very large meeting room, dining room here, a kitchen here, and a little sort of cafe, and then the terrace, the outside terrace is right here.
So that's going to be considered the community room.
Yes, this is the community room. This building has the community room here, another room that could be for community use on the 3rd floor, and then these sitting areas on each floor.
Very nice.
A lot more community space than we have here. and then the outside terraces. So I'm going to show you these, but I can assure you that this is not what it's going to look like on the outside. But this just gives you an idea of the size of the building and the massing of the building. We are debating with the architect right now colors and how we're going to handle the exterior. But it is a fully roofed building, except for the flat area. There's a 4-foot overhang for storm drainage purposes. And again, all designed with ease of accessibility, walking ability on the property. We have put fences in where we think we need to have them to discourage our neighbors at the high school from walking through this property to get to the pizza bucket. That may take a little training at first, but we think that they will be good neighbors. We hope, yes.
Is there going to be any more storage space in their apartments?
Well, the apartments are going to be bigger, and we did have a discussion about the possibility of additional storage, but I have to say that the basement is getting pretty tight with trash compactors and energy closets and things like that down there. So I'm not sure that there will be a collective storage area.
Within the units, there's quite a bit more storage than you have here now. Within the units, closet space.
Might help.
Yeah, no, they're designed very nicely inside.
Are you keeping the pantry, like the pantry closets that we have here, something similar to that?
Boy.
Pantry closets.
Some people call it utility, I call it pantry.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of closets. I mean, there's a closet in the bedroom, and I think there is.
Bathroom and.
That's what we wouldn't care about, the closet space.
Yeah.
Well,
There's a lot more closets.
there's a lot more space, period. So, other questions about?
What was it, final, is the little laundry room maps going to be on each floor?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Laundry rooms on each floor, tables, sinks, raised washing machines, everything you asked for. We told, Housing Vermont said, the laundry rooms, just build this building around the laundry room. He said, yes, please. That's what they want.
They're going to have a security system where you have to go in the inside lobby, push buttons to get in, like they do in the high-rise.
I'm not sure.
We're looking at different options.
We're looking at options on the security system and on key lock arrangements. Also, the call for aid will be different. It'll be very different than what we have now in any building. And the building will be fully sprinkled and alarmed. So.
Sprinkled.
Okay? Any other questions about Red Clover? We hope to close, actually purchase the land in January and then start construction in March or April.
When they get ready to move back, when people can move back, is there going to be have to wait for a whole floor to be finished, or when they come up available one at a time or two at a time or whatever?
The answer is no. We will, and you probably won't like that, but we will restrict resident access to the building while it's under construction. We don't want anybody in a construction area, so we haven't talked about it, but there may be a point at which we think it's sort of safe enough to let limited numbers of people go and look at the first floor of the building, but that would be it. Otherwise, it's a construction zone, and I really don't want anybody there. So the occupancy of the building will take place once the building is done. Yeah, it needs to be done before people are walking around in there. It's just safer.
Underground parking
Yes,
for everybody?
I believe so.
No more snow removal.
Just don't bring, if you don't have a car, don't bring a car. I think there are 39 spaces
Yeah.
below,
Yeah. And then out some of,
and then space outside for staff and VNA, folks like that.
Visitors parking.
Outside, yes. Yeah. And we have an office for the property manager, office for the wellness nurse, and an office for SASH built into the building.
and a valet, right? No?
So Christine already picked out her office. She's ready. She's got a box packed and everything.
So the new property manager that's taking Melrose, will she be the new one that's going
Yes.
to? And what's her name again?
Courtney. Yes, she will have this vote. Okay?
I got one more.
Yes, sir.
You said there was 55 apartments.
Yeah.
Now, say if like 35 people here move in there, now who would be next after the 35? The people that are in the most flooded areas? Or
There'll
still go by
be
scenario?
55 people from here
Right.
that will move into there.
Right,
And there'll be 25 people left here.
okay.
So I fully expect 55 people from Melrose to go to this building.
One who's been here the longest, right?
Yeah,
It'll be done by seniority of your time here at Melrose, because we do have people that came to Melrose from other public housing that we have. But it's really, we're looking at your seniority at Melrose and if you were here during the storm.
Is the new place going to be run by public housing, Brattleboro House?
The new place is going to be, the subsidy will be project-based vouchers that will be supplied by the Vermont State Housing Authority. The management company will be Brattleboro Housing Partnership, which is our new name. But we will be the manager of the property.
Yes, so you'll be in control of that.
Yes, we will.
Its land trust has nothing to do with it.
No, we don't. It's a project between us, with us and Housing Vermont.
Okay.
And you?
On your first board, there was grounds,
Mhm.
you know, with trees and
Mhm.
such. And there were these little, are the gardens when you moved?
Yes, we are going to be moving some of, I think, I can't tell you how many of them, but we are moving the gardens right here. So the garden beds will be moved to here, and then there, you probably can't see it, but there's a little walkway, and we're still planning on having a garden shed in the parking area down here. So the gardeners will have a closed-in parking, or closed-in shed, but the gardens will be back here.
On that, Chris, the Memorial Garden's supposed to go, right? Where is that going to be?
I think we're going to have to put it here because we ended up having to use this for stormwater retention. So I think we're going to put the Memorial Garden somewhere in here.
Will they have the same maintenance crew?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Will they move from here up there too?
Maintenance?
Yeah, well, keep the garage here.
No, they won't. The garage will stay here, our offices will stay here, and 25 folks will stay here. That's phase 2.
What about people with grills and things? What are they-
With grills?
Grills, you know, outdoor grills,
Outdoor grills.
barbecues?
Yeah, haven't really gotten there yet. We'll see what we're going to do about grills.
And the pets aren't changing?
Pardon?
The pets?
The pets?
Dogs, cats,
No,
that's all the same?
the pet rule would be the same. Okay?
Yes.
All right. Sir?
Well, as I'd like to tell all of you, I'm sorry I'm so late. Looking at this, I was going to come be joining you tonight at 7. Now that I've been really, really late. But my comments right here as the board chair is I just 2014 really is a transition year for the Brattleboro Housing Authority. And we have, as all of you know, I was going to say that we've got Red Clover Common, and we've been talking about that for several minutes here. So that was really my thrust of this thing. So I don't really have anything extra to say on that. Right there is we have change in a lot of our employees that we have. Chris will be mentioning.
already did.
Oh, you
Oh,
already done that?
I did
We
that,
jumped over
sorry.
it.
That's okay. That's okay, but that's great. So you have elected them then. Did you do anything with this action item here, resolution?
Yes, we did that.
You did that one too?
Yep.
So,
Next one will be-
okay.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I apologize for being late, but I had a client whom I needed to meet with.
It's all right.
People, Belichick isn't ruining the show.
She wouldn't play next year.
It's all right.
Okay, then I think we talked about the speaker then.
Yeah.
So we'd like to turn it over to our speaker for this afternoon.
Yours, actually.
Our speaker is right. Carrie Simons. And we'll start with you.
All right. Hi, I'm Carrie Simmons. I'm the owner of New Ground Creative here in Brattleboro, and we worked with. I can't hear. I'll talk. I'm Carrie Simmons. Is that too loud?
Can't be too loud.
It can't be too loud. Okay. I'm Carrie Simmons. I own New Ground Creative in town, and we worked with Chris and some designed staff members, the team, a core team, to work with them on BHA and renaming them and doing a logo, website, and some other pieces and materials for them. So I wanted to kind of go over that process a little bit, and then Fallon will talk a little bit as well. So we met with BHA, oh my, I don't, like a while ago, because we also worked on the Red Clover Commons, the naming and the logo and that material as well. So BHA came to us and talked about how it's such a great organization, but the name felt too governmental, and the fact that it was kind of misunderstood between what you guys really do. And so we talked about through the team on who you are and what you do and how you lay out your housing and what's your personality and what you want to do moving forward. And through that process, it became known to us that we needed a new name for you guys. And through the naming process, we met, and together we understood the fact that you want to keep Brattleboro, because this is where you are, and housing was a very important piece to that. But it was that word authority that we wanted to address and think of other options for you. And we all came together choosing partnerships because it provided not just the housing opportunity, but also the organizing and community sense of it, that you all come together and create partnerships, and there's more to it than just this stamp on authority. And then through that process, it was then the fun part of coming up with the fonts and colors and the brand of who you are. And Fallon's going to talk a little bit about that as well.
Hi, I'm Fallon. I was the lead designer on this project. And how we work is, after gathering all the information that we did through the naming process, we try to illustrate that in an image for your logo. So we met with that core team and we presented, I think, 4 or 3 logos. And what often happens is you'll like one aspect of one and one aspect of the other, and that's kind of what happened with this logo, is that the colors were liked in one logo, but this image resonated more, so we combined them both. And the idea behind this was that it was showing a community coming together, that everyone is neighbors, that it gives a cohesive feeling. It was a friendly mark, and the colors also represent that. We wanted to present a happy and cohesive and good feeling in the logo. The font choice also has that. It's a really easy and clear font to read, but the shape in which the letters make has a more appealing and approachable look.
And we've also worked with, on your website, so you have a new website, brattleborohousing.org is your new website. And this, again, usability and approachable, it has the same kind of fun colors and look and feel. It's really easy to get to where you want to go right away. So we are very happy to be here. Thanks so much for the invite, and we're very excited about this organization and where you're going, and to be a part of that, so thank you.
Question.
Yes.
Is it no longer considered Brattleboro Housing Authority, is now called Brattleboro Housing Partnerships?
So your DB, yes. So your DBA is Brattleboro Housing Partnerships, yes.
Okay. Is the color like permanent? I mean,
those are your colors.
Those are colors.
I don't like the orange. Sorry.
The work is done. This is it.
There's always going to be someone in the crowd.
Right. You got your laundry room. I want to thank New Ground because they really were great to work with, and I also want to thank the board because there was a lot of consultation with the board, and it was the board that decided the ultimate name. And they really speak for the board, but they felt strongly that partnerships was really what the housing authority ought to be about. So thank you very much for your work. Thank you all.
They picked the order.
Jackie knows what they like. So before we get to the elections, one more piece of business. I did not want to finish my remarks without thanking all of the staff of the Brattleboro Housing Partnerships that is present. So if you would stand up so we can say thank you for such a great year of work. Okay. All right. We will now have our elections. And we usually start with the main position. So do I have a nomination for chair of the board?
I nominate Marshall Wheelock.
Second.
Oh. Any other nominations for chair of the board? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Congratulations, Marshall. And vice chair?
I nominate Janet Kramer.
Kate?
I'll second.
Any other nominations? Janet, you can't say the word.
It would be an honor.
All right. All those in favor of Janet Kramer as vice chair, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? And secretary?
Gee, that's a hard one.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Who wants the job?
I'll nominate Chris Hart.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
All right. And are there any other nominations for secretary? All right. Okay.
We know skill when we see it.
Yeah, right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. And that is your slate. Congratulations. I have no other business on the board.
And we will adjourn our annual meeting, and we're going to have some
got lots of
snacks,
food.
yeah, I was gonna say snacks and stuff. So by all means, stick around and help yourself. Got my back.
Yeah.